What is up, y'all? So today I've got my Donner B1 analog bass synthesizer with me. We're going to be going over firmware version 1.1. This is a huge update that Donner did. I'm going to be telling you how to update it, but first and foremost, I want to go over some of the biggest things that they've done with this update. So typically on the Donner B1, you have 16 steps, right? Well, something that they've added now is called song mode, and song mode lets you chain your patterns up to 16 times. So you have 16 step sequencer. Each one can be a different pattern to chain to. So you started off with 16 steps. Now you can have 256 steps. So that really changes things for people playing live or just recording, and they've laid out their whole entire track from beginning to end. I think that's awesome, and it makes it a lot more playable for users. Another thing that they've added in this version 1.1 firmware update is something called random note generator, which is really fun, and I've always enjoyed things like that. I remember the Roland T8 did something like that, and it really allows you to kind of get some creativity flowing if you're kind of stuck somewhere or you just need somewhere to start off. I don't know. I love that, and I think that's really fun and great for creativity and coming up with some new fresh ideas. So there's a lot more included on this update. I'm going to include a link in the description, and you guys can kind of read through, but these are some of the biggest ones. So now I want to go over with you how to update it. So let's get into that. New camera angle. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you guys how to physically update the Donner B1. First things first, you're going to want to make sure that you have a USB-C cable. That is how you're going to be updating it. It plugs into the back of the unit itself, and then plug the other end of the cable into your computer. I'm just using a Nintendo Switch cable. That was just the most accessible USB-C cable I had, and I know that it can work for transferring data, but make sure it can do that. You're going to want to make sure you have something called Donner Control. And Donner Control is how you can check for the latest firmware updates on your products. Also release notes on like what's included in those firmware updates. So you can download that on their website. Once you have downloaded and installed Donner Control, open it. If your synthesizer is connected to your computer, it'll pop up and it'll show like a green little check mark. You're going to want to then select that, select the instrument that you want to update. Once you open that, you're going to have a few options here. First off, in the middle, you see something called check version. That just lets you know if your Donner B1 was already updated when you purchased it to the right firmware. If it's not, that's why you're here. So what you're going to want to do is click that button that says check version, and then click the button that says upgrade. Once it updates to the latest version, there's some really helpful information here like I was talking about before. It's going to show you what your latest version is, your current version. And you can also click on release notes to get all the information for what's included in that firmware update. Kind of like what I was saying before. The biggest takeaways here obviously are song mode and random note generator. But if you want to know about all the little bug fixes that they did, then that page is for you. It's pretty seamless, pretty easy to update it. You just got to make sure you have that Donner Control.
Hey all you taggers, use code TIGERA and save. Just go to www.donnerdeal.com.
All right, so I'm going to be showing you now how to use song mode on your Donner B1. First off, we obviously want to power it on. I want to do that because it's showing you now the firmware version. It had 1.1.0. It's called 1.1.0. Now, for song mode, really simple. Just double tap pattern. And now you can choose for each step. It's going to basically be each sequence. And you get to choose on each one by tapping it. And then you scroll through the buttons by choosing which pattern you want for each one. It's pretty self-explanatory once you figure that out. You're going to have two buttons up here in addition that can do something else. This one is called global tempo, and what it's going to do, it's really important. It's going to match the tempo of all of them, and you get to set that up with whatever you want your tempo to be. Let's set it to be 110. Sure. Okay. Global tempo is set right here. And if you noticed, now it's 110. Okay. It's like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure about that? Yep. Oops, I tapped it. It's also tap tempo. My bad. But yeah, that's what that does. And so what I've done is I've set up some different patterns here already. This button is going to be the play or stop for the song mode, because right now if I just press play, it's just going to keep playing whatever step it's on. So maybe you can like preview it, if you will. But if we're going to start from the beginning. If I hit this to engage or activate song mode, now when I press play, watch this. Okay, so that's song mode. There's one last thing, is if you did want to clear a step, you just hit the clear button. Be careful though, because if you hold clear, it erases everything on your song mode. So that is song mode in a nutshell. So this next one is the random note generator, or as they might refer to it, live random feature. This is a really fun one, y'all, but pay attention because their instructions aren't exactly accurate. So what you're going to want to do to generate random notes or random sequence, you're going to want to make sure play is engaged. But the difference here is they're going to say you need to press play, stop, and record edit at the same time. That's not right. That is not what you want to do. You actually want to have play stop playing the sequence, but you need to hold this button down while tapping this. This will then create the random pattern. I'll show you. Okay, so it's just creating random patterns, but what it's also doing is changing up some things like ratchet, slide, some of the other effects that you can do on here. It's adding those randomly as well. If you want to clear your pattern, it's very similar. Watch this. Hold down the play stop button while the pattern is playing, and then tap clear rest. Got it? So that's how you do that. And then again, hold this down and then press record edit to create a random pattern. Cool. I mean, it's really that simple. Obviously, you can save that or not save that. That's entirely up to you. But that is how you do the random note generator, or random sequence generator, I should say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to give a huge shout out to Donner for sending this to me, the B1 analog-based synthesizer. This is not a paid sponsorship in any way. But just know that I think that this is an awesome instrument. I definitely think you guys should consider checking it out. I think it sounds great, it works great, and these updates are huge. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We will catch y'all next time. Peace.